Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Babi. Welcome to the very first episode of the Ender's Legend tutorial. Now, what better place to start than at the setup screen? Of course, you can skip this. Make sure to click the link in the description or wherever I'm going to place that. Maybe pop it up in the screen if I'm feeling like it. Otherwise, you're out of luck and you have to go into the description. Anyway, I've played a lot of hours lately. This game kind of consumed my life, but the thing that got me is the steep learning curve. Although, yeah, you really gotta dedicate yourself to doing this, otherwise you're not gonna go and figure out everything. Unless you're going to watch my tutorial, of course. What better place to start than at the setup screen? Of course, most of it is self-explanatory, but I'm going to go through it. First off, you got the amount of empires. Now, you are going to be one of the empires yourself, so that counts as one empire. And there's 7 other empires. So, yeah, 8 obviously means 8 empires in total. Let's go for 6. That's the default settings. Difficulty, normal, kind of self-explanatory. You also have Antlers difficulty. I wouldn't recommend that to beginners, but it's not really too difficult if you know what you're doing. Then game speed, endless. It kind of doubles only the amount of turns that the game is going to last. So yeah, basically it doesn't really do much more than that. You can go for fast, normal, slow, and endless. Then we've got custom factions. That is something you can do as well. You can build your own custom factions, but I guess we'll not go through that right now. Then we've got the world size. It shows next to it for the amount of players is optimized for. So if you want to play with 6 players, you best choose the normal world size. We've got the world shape. You can go and take continents. You can set it up all with the advanced settings, but we're not going to go too much in depth with this. We're going to go for the vultures, and I'm going to see you in the game. There I am back again, and the first thing that I did was skipping the cinematic, because you're not going to learn the game by watching that. Anyway, it seems like we got a message popping up, but we can dismiss that for now. Now, first off, you notice that the game consists of hexagons. It kind of reminds you of Civilization 5. Now, it's a comparison that one could easily make, and you wouldn't be too wrong. But that's not important for now. Let's go and click on our units. Now, what is very important about this is that you can... you have to know that you have more than 1 unit in your squad. So you've got your hero over here, and you've got individual units over here. Now, you're going to start out with 2 regular units. That's unique to your faction, really. But you can split them up as well. You can disband one and keep the rest of them. To split the units, you just click on the unit in question over here, and you'll click on another tile. It's easy as that, really. Now, of course, we could have found a city. That is what all of the game is about. It's kind of how you build up your empire. You start from nothing, and eventually you will have an empire that spawns over the entirety of the continent or whatever you're playing. So, of course, we are going for the colonization button over here. Now, you do want to keep some factors into consideration when you are going to found your city. You want, of course, a few free tiles surrounding the city, because you do want to eventually expand, and we're going to go more in depth about that, but keep that in mind. So, normally it wouldn't be too bad to have 1, 2, or well, 3 maybe, but 1 or 2 blocks being obstructed by something is not too bad. In this case, if we place the city over here, it's going to be obstructed by the unspoiled ruins. It is not a big problem. Let's go and find the settlement over here. It's not the most ideal setting, I promise you that, but for now it's good. Now, river tiles are absolutely a thing here. We've got sea over here, although it's not really a sea, but, you know. So, one thing you're going to know is whenever you are in a certain screen within the game, let's say you're checking out your city, and you click the right mouse button, you're going to go back to the battleground. So, yeah, that is very convenient if you want to go back to the game without having to click away every single individual pop-up screen. Anyway, we got our hero over here. And the funny thing about the hero is that you can assign it in your city as well. And that seems rather important for now, because we don't have anyone assigned. Now, my tip is to not do that in the beginning, actually. But for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how you do it. So it's as simple as this. You've got the Assign Hero tab down here, and you click that, and you click the unit in question. You can either expect it first, but you can select as well. Now, as I said before, it's probably not the best thing to assign your unit or your hero to the city right away. If you're playing on normal difficulty, it's perfectly alright to go and explore. Now, it is of course different for endless, but if you're at that if you're on that particular stage, you probably know how the game works. So, you enter the city, you edit every single detail about the city over here in the City tab, most naturally. Now, I've got a shortcut for you as well. You can press the tap button and it will go to your first city. It is one function that Kurt, or Seatup, found out. He is a good friend of mine. We play Endless Legends as well. Let's see. Now, over here you will have the individual workers in your city. You can have them focus on every single resource in the game. But before I'm going to show you that, it is probably wise to go through these particular resources. It is actually called FIDSI, but I think that is just the abbreviation of every single category over here. First off, we got food. Quite self-explanatory. It generates food for growth. So whenever you are going to have have more than enough food, your population is going to rise by 1, and this is the actual population. Every single population will provide 1 worker. Then we've got the industry tab. It's gonna take care of building buildings and building units. Then we got the science tab. It's going to make sure that you increase the efforts of inventing and researching. Then we got not gold, as one might mistake easily, but dust, as this is the currency within the game. Then we got influence. Influence is used to purchase particular ideas for your empire. Now, you're going to have a lot of instances where you're going to have to use it, but what it's actually for is not important at this stage. Now, over here, you will see every single unit of food that is being produced in by one particular worker. This can increase, but with researching particular researchers or with particular buildings within your settlement. They can all kind of modify that number. Also, your faction may have modifiers, malices and bonuses. Both can incur on this. Then over here we got the income from city tiles. So that is, in this case, only these 6 tiles over here. This can expand most naturally, but that is something for another day. It is, let's see, we've got 10 over here, so that means that, of course, we are gathering 10 food, we're gathering 3 industry, and so on and so on. This is going to be the modifiers, so, yeah, this is what buildings modify. And then we got the total, which is actually the most important aspect in the game. Now, I recommend that you focus on food, as it is the default choice in the game in the beginning, because you do want to have some workers who work fields and be focusing on certain potentials within your city. Oh, of course, we're going to build some buildings in this city, otherwise the place will be very void. If I hover over the buildings, it shows you whatever it's going to cost and whatever it's going to provide. Under the effects, it's going to show you whatever it's going to provide. If it says +2 food on city, it's going to go within the modifiers over here. If it shows, for instance, let's see if there is a good instance within the buildings over here. No, but I can show you in the research tab, as there are some buildings over here. You got the geomic lamps, for instance. No, that's not a good instance. We would have, for instance, over here, under the Advanced Alchemy Lab, you have +3 science per citizen on city. That does not mean the actual citizens that are in here. It's going to be increasing this. So that was what I was talking about earlier. It's going to increase one of these things, and once you put a producer over there, it's going to increase the value of production in the food, for instance, by 4 per worker. Anyway, you can get rid of your settlement as well, although I wouldn't know why we would want to do that, but sometimes it is in your best interest to do so. Of course, we are going to go for the Founders Memorial. It's going to go for the it's going to incur for the best bonuses for now. Of course, it's one of the beginner buildings, and you can build only one in the Empire, and it makes most sense to do that in your capital because you're going to have or need the most growth in the beginning over there. Now, to end a turn, you go over here and press the button up, of course. If you hover over it, you see the scores amongst all empires. But before we end our turn, there are matters that we have to attend. Over here, you've got important screens that you have to visit time to time. Now, the most important before we end the important matter before we end the turn is research. To go to the research, you click on this particular button, and it's showing you the research screen. I already showed you, but that was not for the research purpose. Now, over here is a web, and in this web, well, this web is divided in 4 separate categories, and one category is going to go, well, this kind of symbolizes the approval and the influence within your city. These are technologies that are kind of connected with those ideas. Then over here we've got research and production. Over here we've got military, and over here we've got economy. So we are playing as the voters, and they are kind of focused on scientific stuff, so research and stuff. Of course, we would want buildings that do modify this. So we are going to go within the research part of the web, and we're going to click on this particular research. Now down here, it shows you how long it's going to take to build or to research this particular invention. Of course, there are certain modifiers, and over here you can see whatever a research is going to cost in this era. So the base cost, and the output per turn within your empire. Now the nominal cost per research is going to increase with every single area you're going to advance in, and it's going to be increased by the number of cities you have. Now the output is of course modified by the production within each city, and that kind of varies a lot. Now, we're not going to go into the taps before ending our turn, so let's go and end our turn over here. There we go. The turn has been done. We have progressed, and one of the first things that you notice is you're getting a mission. So, every single faction has its own missions. But I think I will end the video here, and we're going to go more in depth about missions in the future. So I hope to see you guys around next time. Make sure to subscribe if you think this video was helpful. Leave me some feedback. Let me know what you thought, and make sure to leave a like if you liked. I will see you around. Cheers.